Hi everyone, it's Tracy. I wanted to do a quick review of The Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. I've had this deck for probably about 2 weeks now, and I really have to admit I've had a hard time putting it down. I would consider it a modern but classic take on the Rider-Waite-Smith system. It is very Rider-Waite, but at the same time, it is a deck that is kind of timeless, but also modern at the same time. I really think that there are cards in here that, yes, have a modern flair to them, but won't get dated quickly, I think is what I was trying to say. So I'm loving this deck. The more I use it, the more I love it. This deck really gives me phenomenally clear readings. The silhouettes on the cards really allow you to project yourself and your mindset into the cards. What I mean by that is like your gender, your race. They are kind of raceless and genderless. And I'll show that in a minute when I get into some specific cards. I'm not going to show all of the cards because if you want to go see a full flip through of this deck, go over to Stephen Bright's channel on YouTube, Temperance Tarot. I'll put a link below. He has done a complete walkthrough of this deck because it is, of course, his deck. It is published by Schiffer. Red Feather is their new Mind, Body, Spirit division, but it's Schiffer. And that is my only complaint about this deck is it's a Schiffer deck, which means it's super shiny. And the cards do stick together a little bit. It's better cardstock than I've seen from Schiffer in a while. But it is, at the same time, it is that sticky, highly laminated cardstock, although, yay, no borders. And there are some problems with a few of the cards that I have in my deck. I'm going to try to see if it can show this. This is not a deal breaker or anything, but if you look, there it is. Some of my cards have this sort of stripe, either in the middle or off to the right, that you can see sort of up the middle of the Nine of Pentacles woman, where it looks like the card might have been stuck to something while it was having the lamination applied, and then it was peeled off. But as I said, that's absolutely not a deal breaker for me. Some of the cards he has reinterpreted. Some of the cards are pretty much straight up Rider-Waite-Smith, and some of them have been reinterpreted slightly to, I think, make the meanings clearer and easier to understand, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorites. First of all, we have the Temperance Card, which, you know, as my card, the card that I identify with the most, I'm always looking for a new way to interpret the Temperance Card, and I absolutely love this one with this DJ here, and you know, he's mixing two different bits of music together to create a new bit of music. That sort of, that idea of blending and alchemy really comes through in this card, and I absolutely love it. And the Hierophant, which is my life path card. I've talked about this, how I love that teacher aspect. This Queen of Swords sort of shows what I was talking about with the modern but timeless. I see this right now as a laptop computer, but in the future, you could see it as any device that we are using to communicate with one another. So I think that's just brilliant. I love it. And here's the Death card, just because everybody wants to see the Death card. She's beautiful. Three of Swords, slight different interpretation. It's the same meaning, but a different way to show the meaning, which is what I really love. Here's the Ten of Cups. I love this because this could be a man and a woman. This could be two men, or it could be two women. It's entirely up to you what you see in that image. Here's the Chariot, kid on a skateboard. I think that's really, really fabulous. The Hanged Man, I just think he's gorgeous. There's something so very serene about having that particular perspective from a distance and not being actually in his face. And while you can't see any facial expressions on the silhouettes, I am constantly seeing facial expressions on these silhouettes. I can read their emotions and their expressions as though they had facial expressions. Love that Strength card. I particularly like this Six of Cups card because to me it hints of this to me is the moon. It could be the sun, but to me I'm seeing the moon and these two kids holding hands, and they're looking back at their past. But since they're looking at it in moonlight, are they really seeing their past the way it was? Or are they seeing their past the way they want to see their past? Are they romanticizing it? Or did it seem scarier than it actually was? It's fabulous. I can get so much from that. I'm generally not a big fan of the Judgment card, but the slight tweak here to make this a trumpet and look like a jazz musician just takes me to New Orleans and makes me think of those parades that they do in New Orleans, and gives the whole card just a whole different perspective for me. And I love that. I love that. The sun, had to show the sun card because that is just fabulous. Stonehenge and then just an example of, it's a standard Rider-Waite-Smith meaning, but it's just so clear. The meaning is so clear, and that's what I really love about this deck. I can riffle shuffle it even with the Shiver cardstock. I think that's because of the size of the cards. Here's a Rider-Waite-Smith, just a standard US Games, and you can see that the Spirit Within Tarot is a little bit shorter, but it is also a little bit wider. And the cards are fairly easy to shuffle. Those are the backs. Sorry. Those are the backs. And it comes with a little purple book. It's quite small. But, and inside of it, there's not much here. You have a preface, and then it goes straight into the card meanings. And then we have one spread in the back. But what I love about the writing in the book is you can absolutely hear Stephen's voice in the text on the page. And if you watch his channel and then go read this book, when I read this, I hear him reading it to me, which I absolutely love. So I would actually very highly recommend this deck to anybody, beginners and more advanced tarot readers alike. I think it's a fabulous deck. I just wish the cardstock wasn't quite so sticky, but that is my absolute only complaint, and I will use this one a lot. Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.